Welcome everybody to the Onward VR Master League. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. I am joined by my co-caster F.lapinski. How are you doing today, Lapinski?
Dude, I am doing great. Can't wait to watch how this game goes.
Yeah, it's a hype matchup when you think about it. Cold Steel versus Error 404. Both teams undefeated, if I have my facts correct. And it's why we have them here on VRML 1 when there is tons of games live. We actually have 3 channels live today, Lapinski. It's crazy. I mean, the multi-stream links, I'm sure, are going to be spammed by Trip throughout the day on all these channels, but tune in to all these different games that are going to be live tonight, because it's a hype Thursday of Onward.
Yeah, it's probably going to be one of the more hype Thursdays you'll see in quite a while. I haven't seen this many games scheduled at a time on a Thursday. Usually it's the weekend.
Yep. Yeah, midweek madness for sure, and we're excited to see it, and both teams nearly ready. We have a bit of time to discuss what we're going to be seeing here today, and I suppose this is as good a time as any to dive into the pick bands for the day. Coming in from the Cold Steel side, we have the Bizarre ban, and coming in from 404, we have the USS Quest ban. And what's interesting here, Lapinski, and I want to get your thoughts on it because it is obviously going to lead us to our discussion on where we're headed for our first map. Sand's historically been banned, not USS Quest, but a lot of people have been playing it, and it's kind of a crazy map.
Right, I agree. I mean, when it comes to USS Quest versus Sand, we can both probably agree that USS Quest is a lot more close quarter combat and fast paced. So for a team who's probably not used to bouncing around between cover really quick, going for fast flicks, they might want to play more methodical. So they'll probably prefer to play Sand over USS Quest if they got to choose the ban.
Yeah, even when I think about Sand, it does have the potential to be very volatile early. Depending on the routes you take, you can kind of challenge right away if you just want to go past all of the sort of doors that and cover that there is available on this on Sand. But I guess we're gonna find out, right? Because map number 1 is on Sand, and it's been a while. I think I only saw it played in the first week. I mean, when you think about this map, at least, what are your feelings playing it? What do you think about it when you're gonna go into it in a match? Give me your thoughts, Lapinski.
I mean, when I load in on Sand, I'm always thinking like, man, I feel like I like with every other map, I'm like, I think I could do okay, but on this one, it's like I just don't have as much time on it, so I'm always worried there might be something new that I don't know about, or someone's in a good spot, and I'm like always checking my back. I'm checking every corner because I don't know where, I can't say I know where everyone's going to defend from. There's so many, different spots you can cover from, a lot of sneaky spots, either being up high or down low. It's a map that you got to play a little bit slow on at some points and make sure you either know the map or you know how to check corners, because it can jump up on you.
Yeah, and again, excited to see it played here, just because it's been almost always banned. Teams just do not want to get onto the Sand map, and maybe we'll find out what the reasons are here today with Cold Steel and Error 404. But either way, it's again, this matchup is gonna be. I'm hyped for it, just because I don't think I've gotten really a good shake on what Error 404 is bringing to the table. I think they've had. Let's see. I think they've had a game cast. I think they had a game cast early in the season. Yes, Mono hopped on a cast there with Etch early when they went up against Mike Juliet and got their first win of the season. But since then, they've just been winning without anybody really watching. Yeah. They beat Saints and Sinners. They beat WCO. They beat Count Ocula. They beat Los Sobros. Teams that, admittedly, I'm not terribly familiar with, so obviously they're new teams as well, but still, they're on a bit of a tear right now, and now they're going to go up against Cold Steel, who is not a new team. This is a team that has players that we know. It has players that have been around a while, and it's almost kind of a test, if you will, as, well, the action begins now, Lapinski.
Yeah, I think you're right there, and right now, Arrow 404 is ranked 11th at the moment.
Crazy.
In the standings. Cold Steel ranked 13th, both undefeatable. So tonight's really going to decide who really is more prepared than the other team.
I'll watch the north door.
Early push up here from the Doctor, getting himself in to a challenging position on the Badger. Badger tucked in, obviously, to the other side, and the smoke is going to come out. That's a smoke? No, it's a nade. Interesting. Doesn't end up hitting Badger. He's got that wall protected. There's the smoke onto objective. Maybe a little bit early as the push is actually setting up way over here on this east side.
In the north, we got Grim Reaper trying to take out Icy from behind the market, and he does find him, giving himself a little bit of an opening up here in the north, but he still has to worry about Cup over here on that north corner behind the doors.
Yeah, and it forces everyone to sort of check all of their angles now. It's not Void and Badger worried about the whole team that is here. Nynx just takes a quick peek. Chirp goes down to Badger's shots. A good pickup there from him, and you can see the Doctor dialed into this corner. He wants this refrag.
Yeah, Geek's now going to be approaching to this objective a little bit farther, trying to nade a possible spot where Void actually was a little bit earlier, but rotated out. Grim also does find Cup when he approaches through, and Doctor does find Badger. Wow. Down goes Arrow 4-4, down to 2 players. Real quick.
They are now pushing in here after a couple of kills. Cobra finds one. Shrieking swings around. Cobra's still on objective, so the 1v3 is potential, but I don't think he's going to catch Grim Reaper swinging around here and exposed. Cobra gets scooped up. 3 left alive from Cold Steel, and they kick off this round saying, hey, we're ready to play here on sand. It doesn't matter what map we're gonna be on. We're taking an early lead with the Marsoc dub.
That was really good. You could see Cold Steel really using a lot of free fire, turning corners, and using their utility exactly as they should. Really got them that round win there. And I completely forgot about Grim Reaper in that north. I was watching Cobra, and I'm like, oh man, he might be able to hold it out. And then, like you said, he wasn't ready for Grim, and neither was I. I didn't even completely forgot he was there.
Yeah, it's and that's really the strategy I think they tried to deploy there. They wanted to split the attention to the point they definitely even split our attention to both the south and the north sides of this objective, and the full team push with really everything working out for them. If they don't get that kill up on the north, it's not nearly as an easy takeover as it was there. They had a little bit of support that can shift around onto objective. There's a lot of opportunities yet available, but just a great bit of coordination there and working off of the picks they got. A good pickup to clear that south entry point onto objective, and ultimately Cold Steel with a Marsoc dub. It's not how you want to kick off your map pick if you're Error 404, right? This is not the ideal start right now.
For this objective, I'm thinking, it's not too difficult to defend in a certain scenario that you might set up. If you set up one person near the south, watching the entire lane to cross the east towards the well, you can pretty much, make any call outs if someone's getting near that objective. But, if you get smokes everywhere on that objective and you can get in that east street, man, then you're in for some trouble there. That's when a potential cap could come out.
Well, let's see how Cold Steel roll out here.
Yeah, we're gonna see how they defend, and if Arrow 404 can get the revenge here and take another point away, make it tied up here.
Not seeing any C4 deployment coming out just yet either, which is something I would sort of expect on a map like this. C4 certainly would seem like a useful tool to be deploying here to cover some of your corners, but nothing coming out, doesn't seem, at least, and everyone takes up their defensive positions.
I think Cold Steel is playing a little bit more tight on defense compared to Arrow 404 from the last round. We saw Icy push a little bit farther in the north, as well as one did make its way into the east alley, I guess you would call it. So we're going to see if playing a more tight defense would possibly make it a little bit easier to defend this objective, or if it makes it so that there's not enough reaction time to prevent a cap if someone goes down on the objective.
Yeah, and I mean, we're over the shoulder of Shrieking here. One of the more pushed out, if you will, from this defensive spot, to your point of them being tight. I think he's the most extended, but he might get an early pick. STF swings wide and actually gets the shots onto Shrieking. A good peek there. He did take some damage. You see him use the syringe to heal it up, but he does clear that out, and it does force a bit of a rotation. The Doctor has to come over here and now cover this door, and maybe opens up a bit of an entry through the center.
Here comes smoke from Badger on the objective, causing Reaper to not see that easily on any crosses in the east. Gonna really rely on his teammates there to protect that objective cross.
Yeah, we're just going to have to keep, again, our attention split because the push is going to come from both ends. And I do like that Badger zombie position he had, that overwatch position, if you will. Jerp's going to take some shots down lane. Doesn't tag anybody. Cobra and Badger still up, but does at least prevent the push up. Nink's able to scoop up ICY, trying to push out through the doorway. A nice kill there, and...
Four of us still up.
Oh, refrags.
Couple trades coming out right there from Doctor and Cup right there at the entrance of the south door. Gonna make it a 3 versus 2 here. Cold Steel down 1 player compared to Arrow 404. I think with Arrow 404, what they're dealing with is they don't know where these last 2 players are exactly at, which is making it a little bit more difficult for them to approach, as this is a very closely knit objective. You gotta pass a lot of corners that pretty much any one of them a player could be stacked up on.
Yeah, and it's kind of the risk of this map. It is certainly a close quarters map. It is tight, but there's so many corners. There's so many different angles you have to check. And Cobra doesn't check the right one. Grim Reaper finds the first kill. Now I have to get 2 more, but it is at least an even odds. 2-2 here. Ninx may be up next. So I have to keep an eye on, again, both sides of the entry here to objective.
Ooh, and Ninx does find Badger, making it a 2 versus 1. All up to Void now.
And he does have information to work off of, right? He does hear those gunshots. He does probably know Grim Reaper's somewhere to his right. He knows Ninx is somewhere on the other side of this building. And so he's got a lot of time. 2:45, he can maybe wait for a rotation until even the 30-second mark, and then he could push just because he is that close. And so there are some options in terms of how Void can play this out. Well, I suppose it's not Void can play this out.
Right. And the real question is, does he have an accurate kill count too? If he thinks that there might be more or less alive, it could put him in a more of a disadvantage opportunity here. But he's gonna sneak up on this objective and possibly get Ninx here. Oh, they get the trade. Wow, that was a close round there. That was down neck and neck at that point. Cold Steel just coming out with that win.
I mean, hey, that
2-0.
That was Air 404 with the advantage on the push, and Cold Steel just doing a good job to pinch down on objective. Again, the real only difference we saw is that there was that extra person to hold the other side of the objective. If Air 404 had that, we probably would have seen a similar sort of defense, a similar last man standing hold, but you get the right kills, and Cold Steel now at the 2-0 lead. So a good back and forth is as I think the point I'm getting at. Air 404 is certainly challenging this Cold Steel team here today, but they got to do a little bit more than that if they want to put some rounds up on the board. Yeah,
we saw a couple trades out earlier as well, and I think that gave a miscommunication on exactly what the kill count was at one point. Maybe towards the end, they kind of figured there was maybe 2 left on the objective. But at the same time, usually when you know what the kill count is, you feel more confident with the guys you have, and you sometimes push the objective a little more.
Sure.
When it was 3-2, if they had an accurate kill count that there was 2 alive, maybe they might play a little bit more aggressive and take the player advantage to the objective and see if they can outplay the defending team. But they kind of went in one at a time, trying to scope out where they might be hiding from. They slowly got picked off, but the trade at the end was unfortunate, really close there, and Cold Steel just went out and got that point.
Round number 3 kicking off. A good series so far, Lapinski. We'll see if Air 404 can get on the board. Curious to see their defensive rollout as we do shift objectives. And this one's a fun one to watch just because of the variety here, all the different options you have on defense and attack.
I'm just going to jail.
Yes, I have a feeling that they might push out once again, possibly take over that auto shop little hangar in the east, and see if they can get a second advantage in height over the defense. But doesn't seem like they're going to do that. It seems like they're going to play tight, just like Cold Steel did that last round.
C4 is dispatched there in that bottom floor. To take a quick look at it for the folks at home, and we'll see if that comes to fruition, if that comes in use. It certainly seems like a last-ditch effort considering it's inside, it's at a major entry point. But who knows, Cold Steel not really exactly pushing up terribly aggressive. You can I like sand so much because I feel like it has a lot of variety. The way you can push, how you can attack, you can go fast, you can take your time.
Smoke out on objective.
Yeah, looks like Nink is gonna throw a smoke on that staircase corner of the objective. Not sure if he's trying to get an angle to move, but Icy does find Grim Reaper, and Doctor finds Badger. So a little bit of a kill trade essentially there, making it 4-on-4 still. I'm worried about Cobra. Like Cobra's got a really good defense spot and might be able to find both Jerp and Shrieking Geek right where he is. You could hear them both probably moving around.
Yep.
What do you think?
Yeah, he's certainly getting audio comms from Shrieking and Jerp. Although Jerp is playing it pretty slow, as is Shrieking. They are taking their time here. I see why 19 has to be careful as he does rotate, just because how deep Cobra's position is. Shrieking can get shots off in this hallway, so it's not all sunshine and rainbows for the defense. They got to be careful when they're on those rotations, and Jerp isn't going to end up swinging out there, so Cobra not going to find the back of anybody just yet. I see why finds the Doctor trying to push up through what seems to be that garage section.
On top of the center building right now, while we were looking at Icy and Cobra, he has a pretty good advantage. He could possibly take out Icy on that rooftop, or even just drop in and go for the cap on this objective, as he smokes it too, trying to get himself a little bit of noise suppression too. Geek did swing right past Cobra and did not get spotted. He was quiet enough.
And Cobra just took shots there. Nynx almost goes down, but now Jerp and Shrieking keen to this defensive position. You can see Jerp definitely aware of Cobra in that corner, so we'll see if any nades or utility comes out or if Cobra pushes. There's the flash. It's a great flash, too. Cobra completely blind. Jerp's trying to swing. He's going to get there in time. He does.
Nice. What a great flash and use of utility from Jerp, making it even 3 versus 3. Arrow 404 must be on their toes and shaking a little bit as they got the rooftop completely exposed. A good flash does find Nynx though.
Rooftop.
Yep, allows ICY to rotate out, and that's exactly what he needed to do.
Enters the building and finds Cup.
One down first floor. Copy.
Icy does find Jerp though on the rotation. And Nynx Dragon all up to Shrieking Geek. The team captain of this this veteran team, Cold Steel.
Yeah, he's got the roof control. He's going to have to drop down. We'll see what he decides to do. But like you said, he's in a 1v2 situation, and he does have this height. Maybe he can spot ICY. Someone tucked in here. No, he can't. ICY hits the headshot. Error 404 are on the board, and this is what I'm expecting. This is going to be a back and forth. These are two undefeated teams. These teams have been winning consistently in this season, season 11 here. They've been winning on these new maps, and, you know, hey, this is going to be, I think, a good back and forth today.
Wow, man, I don't know about you, but when Jerp entered that building and took out Cup, I was like thinking that Cold Steel might have taken that round, but both Icy and Void were able to completely secure that objective and hold it down from the rest of Cold Steel. Great job from Arrow 404.
You know, and again, just to almost the theme of this map, right? Even when you get inside, there's so many angles inside this building that you have to check, you know? It's just this whole map is just nooks and crannies, and the perfect example, the defensive position we see here that was tucked into the corner. You know, there's plenty of great little plays there in that last round that outline just the new the style, I suppose, of this map. And even once you get control of the roof, even when you're in a 1v2, a 2v2, getting inside here is a whole little mini map in itself almost.
Yeah, man, I think if you had to like count how many corners there are in that one room, there's like 10 corners that someone could tuck in on. It's insane. I feel like the only way to really cause a big enough panic maybe is to just put smokes everywhere in there, causing them to run around. But wow, it's just that's a tough objective to really to cap on. You know, if you've got a lot of people defending that objective, it's pretty much it's a fort. you know, it's held down strong.
Absolutely, and we'll see what Cold Steel do on this defensive rotation. See again if that C4 utility comes out. Shout outs from the gaming crew down here on Cold Steel as they do roll out. And I do see a C4 from Shrieking, so should be keeping an eye there on that deployment. But if anything, maybe it's going to be a similar spot. But no, he's actually going to go to the roof.
Oh, Nynx is pushing aggressive over here near Badger inside the center auto shop. Wow, he puts himself in a really good position to really hold down this this east entrance of the objective. Jerp finds Icy in the north. Not sure if he spotted out Void, but looks like he's pushing aggressive. He doesn't spot Void, and Void does take that opportunity and takes out Jerp as he crosses. And it's a consequence of going for the flank sometimes. Is, you know, there's not always just one person when take someone out. Sometimes they got a little buddy with them.
Yeah, and geez, this map rolling out to be a fast one, at least this round here being quick. Nynx finds one. Void doesn't turn off of that fire. He could have a clean line of shot here over towards Nynx, but he's dialed in on Didacta. Down goes at least another for Cold Steel. Error 404 keeping this one tight as we're into a 3v3 after the first minute and a half of the round.
I wonder if Nynx Dragon knows that Badger Zombie is on top of him, because I mean, Badger's been pretty quiet, crawling around, but if he made any kind of noise with his microphone or if he grabbed a tablet, then Nynx has been well aware of him for quite a while now. Really curious. He definitely heard Void take a couple shots, so he kind of moved himself in a little bit of a different angle. Same with Geek.
Well, now Badger knows.
Yeah, pretty sure they both know. Nynx is looking up too.
See if the drop shot comes in here. Badger almost has the angle. He just has to commit to diving out and going for the kill, but he isn't going to search for it just yet. Maybe he could dip out here. Maybe he can find the angle here. He's looking for it. Nynx actually is the one that finds the angle. Badger goes down. Error 404 down to the final two. Void and STF Cup, who are on the opposite end of this defense, so maybe they can find an entry in.
Cup's got a pretty good spot going on right here. And right now, Shrieking Geek and Grim Reaper are on the other side of this building, and he does find Grim. Shrieking Geek, it does hear those gunshots, is going to go for that rotation for the refrag, but gets picked off by Void. Nynx Dragon's the last one off the objective, too.
A great little play. A fantastic play from Error 404. Void covering the roof, Cup finding the kills. Nynx, like you said, it has to crash back to objective so that he can defend. And I mean, we talk about the angles you have to check. If you're defending as the lone defender, you also have to check all the angles as well. So
yeah,
not an easy time here for Nynx in this 1v2.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked. And Nynx rotated a little bit slow there. I thought that maybe if Cup was really quick on that push, he could have probably got that cap there. But once again, you know, you're not always sure where the last defender is, so still gotta play as cautious as ever.
I think those shots you were hearing were from STF Cup onto the C4 placed by Shrieking up there on the roof. So did give away his position and forced the rotation from Nynx, but also, I guess, diffused that C4. Maybe could have knifed him, maybe it was out of his reach, not sure what the situation was, but
better safe than sorry, I guess you could say.
Yep.
What a nail biter right here. 1 versus 2.
Oh, and the shot's just missing from Cup. Void, if this is communicated, has an idea of where Nynx is. Nynx tries to drop out, and Void's the one that finds the kill through the gap. Error 404 coming together with some great teamwork to snag another round, and this thing is tied up 2 apiece.
I think what we noticed there is that second time Cold Steel was on defense here, they did play a little bit more aggressive here, and not sure if that worked towards their to their advantage. Maybe the Nynx did get a couple picks here and there after he pushed up, but I think it caused a couple of the defenders to be a little bit loose on their trigger finger. They're not so they're a little more hesitant to shooting if they hear or see someone, because they're probably not sure exactly how far their teammates moved up.
Yep.
Sometimes it's you know, something you got to think about. And this game's huge on the mental part. You know, even the smallest thing can affect how you play.
There's a good handful of elements that go into being a skilled Onward player, and yes, I would say the mentality definitely a large part of it. So we'll see if Cold Steel can mentally recover from this from losing that 2-point lead. I feel like that's maybe one of the harder things to be able to bounce back from as a team, and to keep things close, is even when you've won and then lost, it's to regain what you had at the start of the round. And well, hey, they're going to go on the offense. They won their first offensive round here of the series. Maybe they can get the lead again. But this objective, certainly an interesting one. I mean, again, the theme, corners, and I mean, this one, just another corner checking objective that you have to make sure. I mean, I'm surprised more caps aren't coming in, just with all the different spots you can punch a code in from.
Yeah, I know. I think this one's probably going to be, if there is a cap on this map, this might be the objective that might happen on too. But Arrow 404 really got warmed up, and they're doing really good right now. They've been getting their shots dialed in. They've been moving in as a team a lot more. Let's see how they do. Do they only have 4?
Uh-oh.
I don't see their 5th.
Look for their 5th too.
I think Arrow 404 only has 4 players at the moment.
Or we're just not seeing it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Do the research. I'll keep the overhead, but certainly odd. Yeah, it seems like there's only 4. I don't know. Maybe we're just not seeing it.
Yeah,
It's blended into the
4.
sand or something.
Yep, Arrow 404 must have dropped a player as soon as they loaded in. They've only got 4 players right now. Well, they start off with a little bit of a disadvantage, but they're sticking with it, and it seems like it's no big deal. Cobra taking out Tricky Geek and Jerp on his own. Already giving Arrow 404 the advantage in players now.
Oh man, Badger finds one. Nink's able to scoop up ICY, but the back and forth here is real. And yeah, we're definitely into a 3v2. You can now see the scoreline up top representing the accurate kill feed there. Badger confirming his kill, and still that 3v2 very much present as the Doctor and Nix have to push in. They have this smoke deployed. They're throwing the utility over onto the objective, and I mean, they're pretty close to the objective right now.
Yeah, they are. And I don't know if you caught that nade that Doctor threw, but it just kept rolling and rolling all the way off the map. Bounced off the little tent and almost got void if it dropped straight down, but man, he chucked that thing. It was just flying. Got a really good defense here with Void on the objective, Cobra over here in the west, ready to bounce onto it in case Void goes down, as well as Badger up in the skies on top of this auto shop, prepared to take any heads off of the bodies if he needs to do so.
Yeah, he's got his eyes on with the bird eye view. Nink's going on for a long rotation, and it's important for the Doctor to just sync up with that, allow Nink's the time to rotate all the way around, and we are seeing now the Doctor maybe dropping off as well. Well, taking his time at the very least, which is exactly what he needs to do so that Nink's can rotate.
I think he might be moving up to that box in front of him, possibly. No, I think he's gonna go for a wide flank behind the objective. See, this could help him a lot, or Cobra could hear him and just take him out, and then it's all up to Ninx.
Yeah, Ninx has actually come back. He didn't commit to that flank. Maybe he was just checking to make sure nobody was on a rotation behind him, but now, yeah, this could be the good pinch if the Doctor can time this up again with Ninx, and they have the coordination, the key element here to get them a W in this deficit. But I don't know, actually, if Void goes down, objective defense not exactly tip top.
Right, it would take Badger at least a couple seconds to rotate back. Cobra would be the only one on there in time to take the objective under control, and a nade would totally take out Void right now if they had one available, and I think they used their only nade too. But Ninx has actually got tablet out on the objective. Is this going to be a cap?
Yep, it very well could be. He's trying to go for it. He has all the time in the world. No one's checking this. The rotation from Void has exposed this gap. Oh, there's a pickup, a huge pickup. The Doctor finds the quick refrag onto Cobra, though, and we're into the 1v2 now as the Doctor's the last one alive.
Ninx really choked on that cap there. He was on there for quite a while.
A little bit of a mono cap for sure, but an opportunity squandered. Yeah, I mean, hey, that's what I'm talking about with that objective. There's all these walls and corners just around it. There's all kinds of places you can cap, and you really have to make sure you're covering all these different angles. So fortunate that they did swing out and get that pick. A very nice check, but still, we're now with 2 minutes left into a 1v2. Cold Steel still have the Doctor. He's got 4 kills and 3 deaths so far in the series, so he's been active.
He's also got quite a bit of time left, 2 minutes to get to that objective and assess the situation. He does know where one of them are. He knows that Badger's up there on that auto shop, but man, if Badger did not peek that corner, I think Ninx might have had his couple extra 20 seconds there to cap it. Man, I don't know how Doctor's gonna approach this. I'm sure he's gonna try and take out Badger as soon as he can. I think that's what he's looking for here, is the angle on him on this rooftop. But he's running down the clock a little bit. He doesn't have a lot of time. This right here, he might be able to find Badger. Does he see him? Oh, ducks down. Badger gets a clip off Doctor. Doctor swung out a little bit too quick there and kind of exposed himself a little bit too long. He's gonna have to rethink his whole situation. He's only got a minute left.
Again, Badger's position, while it is effective, it is out there. You know, it's not exactly tight to the objective. So if the Doctor does this right and takes out Void, he has all kinds of spots to punch in the code. So he has to do it quick with only 40 seconds left, but I think there's a route here.
Yeah, and I mean, Badger is really exposed to exactly where Doctor was on that rooftop. Badger is really exposed to that situation. I think he's just going to keep his eyes on that now until he hears any shots near that objective, because he doesn't want to lose his position. And honestly, this would probably be the time to go for that cap again. But I think to do so, he's going to have to take out Void, unless he takes a different route. He's only got 15 seconds remaining.
He's going to the wrong place, too.
I was just saying, I'm like, where's he going? Seconds. Does find Void. Will he get Badger? He's going for the cap. And Badger finds Doctor. It was a worthy attempt, but Badger kind of came in clutch there and saved that round, giving themselves that point.
Yeah, huge pickups from him up there in that garage defensive spot there, and a great hold from this Error 404 team to bounce back from a Cold Steel early 2-0 lead. It was not looking good, from our perspective. It certainly seemed like Error 404 could compete, but Cold Steel to come out like that out the gate with a Marsuck win, I mean, there's just not really a better way to start a series. Yeah. But they haven't scored since, and Error 404 with 3 unanswered points are looking at a potential map 1 win here on their map pick. So, best case for them. Or no, it's Cold Steel's map pick. Sorry.
Yes, correct.
Even better.
But let's not forget, Arrow 404 had four players that last round, and they still won the round.
Yeah.
So mad respect right there. But they did get those 2 early picks off in the beginning, so it did help them out a lot. But if Ninx probably had a couple more seconds, that could have been map right there. Badger really came in clutch and saved the day for Arrow 404 and kept them in the map. This is close. This is a really close game.
It really is.
And map 1.
Yeah, I know. Where are we headed for the rest of the series? You got to wonder, Again, we're on the scoreboard. We're looking at the bans. Bazaar off the table and USS Quest. So the close quarter is not necessarily. There still is, I suppose, Suburbia in terms of close quarters maps, but there's like Downfall, Snow Peak, still options on the table, and so. Really, we could be headed anywhere in terms of map style, and I'm curious to see what Error 404 will want. But they got to win first, as they're just a round away. We'll see if they can lock it in as we dive into round 6.
Yep. Sounds like Arrow 404 is going to go for a little bit of pre-fire on the objective, but Jerp pushing this center building rooftop. gets taken out by Icy, just like that. Real quick response there for Arrow 404, but they do have Shrieking Geek in this radio tower, able to make all these call outs and really listen for those footsteps for someone moving around in the south too.
Yeah, but a great start for Arrow 404 to snag this rooftop position. It gives them a lot of options. ICY does eventually drop off of it, but it's a threat now that this Cold Steel defense has to kind of be cautious of. Is anyone going to be holding from that rooftop angle? And ICY's hearing these comms from Shrieking and smokes the doorway before I assume he pushes in.
Real quick, there is like no one on the objective besides Grim. You know, I'm just looking now, and Doctor's all the way over here in the east. Ninx is far north. Shrieking Geek's all the way at the radio building. Like, what happens if Grim goes down? You know, you've got a long rotation from Cold Steel, and Arrow 404 can really get a cap on this one. I think they, you know, if they really play their cards right, they could get it pretty easily.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that I think even Cobra can get past the Doctor if the Doctor's not careful. Cobra, there's moments where the Doctor's watching this other door. He was shifted pretty heavily over to that right side for a second there. Now he's watching this lane, but there's so many different walls and hallways that you can tuck into.
We got a really good smoke there from Badger on the objective now. Grim's panicking and putting shots out and gets taken out by Icy. Now the objective is open. Now no one's on it. Doctor's the closest player, and Ninx hasn't rotated back yet. Down goes Geek, all up to 2 members. Oh boy. This might be map here. Doctor goes down, all up to Ninx, and he does find Badger. Still might be a chance here.
Yeah, but if he's not careful, it could also be Error 404 getting an additional 2 onto the board. Scoring points is important. If they can win 5-2, I mean, talk about a great comeback, a great morale boost. There's a lot of things that's you know, it's worth to do, but at the same time, the res comes in and the 2v3.
More panicking. A lot of gunshots coming out from Doctor and Ninx, just trying to suppress in that objective to make sure that they can possibly get a lucky kill. Ninx goes down from Void all up to Doctor, and Void gets the final pick on the Doctor, and Arrow 404 win. First map.
I think this team competed in the Onward Rookie Bootcamp tournament, the most recent one, if I'm not mistaken, and here they are taking on a team that's been around since season 7 and ultimately coming back from a 2-0 lead that Cold Steel had. A really great performance from this team, and I don't know what we're going to get for our second and third map, honestly.
Right, and the second map's going to be Arrow 404 map pick, so I mean, they won Cold Steel's map pick. Let's see how they perform on their own map pick. Maybe it's whole, you know, well, we win your map pick, you win on ours kind of thing, but we'll have to see. You know, only time will tell.
Yeah, only time will tell. It's always the guessing game, and it's part of the strategy at the high level. Where do you go? What map do you choose? Is it a map that your opponents are good at? You can look at their percentages. You can get all the data you could ever want on your enemy by going to the website, and it is going to be a longer range map, Snow Peak. But I don't know. I feel like it's almost kind of 50-50, really. Snow Peak can be close quarters as well.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, especially if you're in the tunnels over on
right.
the east side, 100%.
Well, any of those east objectives, right? There's also the objective inside that square building. That's crazy.
That little warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have a little thing of all the call-outs somewhere. I mean, there's always that map you don't play a lot of. This is one of my maps. I mean, you know, I still remember when it first came out. It was a fun map to play, but no one ever wanted to play it in the league match, and I'm not sure why. But I mean, here we are playing it in a league match. So.
It's been played a lot. There have been. I feel like I've almost seen it in every game at this point. I feel like it's maybe usurping Downfall as the long-range favorite in a lot of cases. At least this seems to me the trend, as a lot of teams have been picking this map when they want to go to a longer range situation. And again, while it is long range in the majority of the map, you still have objectives like our first one here that we're going to be going into, and it's inside the warehouse, and this doesn't get much more close quarters.
Yeah, I think for this objective, usually when it comes to defense, you got to put about 3 guys just on the objective, because as long as you hold down the entrances, you know, it's a tough objective to really approach and get inside of. But once you get your Marsoc inside the objective, it's pretty much game over for Volk at that point. It's really difficult to take him out and prevent a cap, because everything happens so quick, and sometimes you don't know what's going on by the time you check your tablet and the round's over. So you really gotta watch that east and west tunnel too. And if I had to assume, Cold Steel's probably gonna push up through the tunnel somewhere. Arrow 404 is probably gonna come in through the west side and sneak in on the outside part of the objective. That's my 2 cents of what might happen in this first round. We'll see what happens.
Love to hear the predictions. Yeah, we will indeed. And I'm looking at the rosters just to see if we're getting any sort of subs from either side. I don't think anyone is getting dropped out and subbed in. So the same rosters from last series kicking it off. And again, I want to see if there's any C4 deployments, anything like that out the start here, because this is certainly an objective that can utilize a good C4.
We do have an Ice Lake spawn from Arrow 404, so definitely kind of favoring my prediction here on coming in from the east. Let's see what Cold Steel does. Doesn't seem like they're gonna push out. Kind of hanging out in those tunnels a little bit. Setting up some C4, looks like, and a really good spot from Grim.
Oh yeah, nicely tucked.
It's one with the vents now.
Yeah, not going to be able to be identified until it's too late. So a great spot, but not where this offense is pushing in right now. ICY and It's Not Void right here at this doorway already.
They got some lasers trained in on this entrance here. You got Doc here really keeping his eye on that door, and I think he did spot Icy. He's making that call out now. And Nink's in a really good spot too on this doorway too. He can spot any footsteps that might crawl underneath, but he doesn't have a lot of cover. You know, if you peek that corner, could be a possible trade, but you do have Jerp as well watching that door.
A good placed flash in through either one of these doors will do a lot of work for the entry of this offense, and so we'll see if any utility does come in, but for now it's the calm before the storm. ICY tries to get the utility into smoke. It does get through the door, but the Doctor finds the kill and certainly confirms it by dumping a few more rounds into his downed body. STF Cup's trying to come in. Badger's over by the C4 placement, as is Cobra. This could be bad news for the duo if they're pushing in.
Ninx finds Cup with the refrag as Cup gets Jerp. And Grim gets a C4 onto Badger. Just misses Cobra though. Cobra picks the corner and misses the shots onto Grim. Now it's, man, that was close. Cobra's going for that rotate. Oh, Grim almost found Cobra.
Void's inside. He finds one, he finds two. Objectives clear. No. Pad comes out. Cobra wins his, and Error 404 just swing it with a couple of great pickups.
Wow, Void was just silent out there. I don't think they knew he was out there, and as soon as all the attention went in on Grim's or Cobra's fight over there, they put all their attention in. Void snuck in, took him out. Wow, if Cobra waited any longer, I think Arrow 404 could have gotten a cap in the first round.
That would have been a heck of a momentum roll if they had managed to do that. And appreciate, we do have a bit of a, this brief time between rounds. Just a quick shout out to everyone that is tuning in to chat. I see Hailfire, Soju, Wookie, S1G, Crimson, Mech, the Fox, Lion Cake. Appreciate everyone that is hanging out in chat and chatting it up. If you are aware, there's multiple games live right now on 2 and 3, so be sure to show some love to those other live casts. But I don't blame you if you're here, because so far this series has been quite fun to tune into.
Yeah, I mean, you can go say hi, but make sure you come back real quick, because we'll miss you guys.
Yeah, and I think the best way I would recommend is the multi-stream. That way you can at least see as well the other 2 streams that are live and choose which one you want to listen into. And so I think Trip has been posting that link in chats, and if he hasn't, someone will when they hear this, the sound of my voice. But again, thanks for all tuning in and hanging out. If you are new, hit that follow button. We do a lot of casting, and as you are obviously now aware, there's also other channels, so be sure to follow VRML 2 and 3 as well, because sometimes we got 3 games going live at the same time.
Yep. Exactly. Just like tonight.
Take this energy from that big win. Take that big energy
Starting
from
round
that
2.
win. Let's go right here.
And we got a different spawn from Cold Steel this time. We have the garage spawn. So it's going to be probably a different approach coming out on this objective. Possibly stacking more through the tunnels than inside the east part.
I see Wise on a long rotation. Again, we have to keep an eye out for any of that C4 deployment, because hey, it came in huge for that for the defense last round. Got him a nice kill to almost kick off their defensive hold, but ultimately wasn't quite there. But wow, I mean, look at this Look at that where they're going. I see Wise way out here looking for a kill.
Look at Cobra. Cobra is right next to 3 Cold Steel right here. If he goes for a little bit farther forward, might get a flank on 3 of them.
Yeah, these are some nice forward positions that could pay dividends or cost them the round. Certainly risky.
Oh man, I think Cobra might get Geek here. Geek might make a couple shots here, and Cobra might come in from behind and flank on him. Nice, he does find Minx over here in the far east tunnel. Still got Jerp to worry about, but Cobra is coming in from behind and finds Jerp. Void gets Grim Reaper too.
Man, they are just picking apart this Cold Steel offense. There goes another one to Void, and Shrieking suddenly in a 1v5.
Yeah, he can do it. It's not that hard. Just a 1v5.
Wow, what a great hold here from this Era 404 team.
Wow.
Void peeks out, gets the final kill. Not a single going down on their hold, and the aggressive defense from 404 pays off. They are now 6 unanswered points against Cold Steel.
Void just had 3 kills right there in the east. Incredible. I'm surprised there wasn't any pre-fire on his position. I mean, when one went down, then another went down. Still no pre-fire, and he picked off the last one. I mean, maybe it takes a 2-0 lead to make a team turn around, so we'll see here on this next round if Cold Steel picks it up and gets a round win and maybe snowballs after it.
Yeah,
it's the objective though.
You know, again, Cold Steel is again a team that's not new to the league, so they're very much a team that I would think is capable of being able to bounce back from a couple of bad rounds. And especially after you've had a couple in a row, that's really the moment where you can go, okay, hey, look, let's reset, let's refocus, forget what we just did for the last couple of minutes, and let's lock it in here on this next defensive round, because now things are changing. Now they're getting the range that they maybe need to get them an advantage. I'm not really sure yet. We'll see. Like I said, if Cold Steel can get this round here on the board, but it's been Error 404 really running away with the series as of late.
Yeah, and I mean, completely lost my train of thought. Just straight up, I was gonna say something really cool and really smart about what's gonna happen next, and it's just out my head. Don't know what I was gonna say. But other than that, we're hopping into the next round.
Yes, we are diving into round number 3 of map number 2. If you are just tuning in, we do appreciate you, but you have missed some pretty good action. This has been a great matchup between 2 undefeated teams. Cold Steel on the cusp of maybe losing their first series of this season if they can't take this map, so they definitely need to get this round to start that comeback.
Yep. And looks like we're gonna have a couple guys from Arrow 404 take the east tunnel route through this map and possibly come in through the North Passage, between all the rocks. Rest of the members of Arrow 404 are kind of gonna split up. One in the center, near the center ravine, and a couple two going through the South Pass towards the west hangars. Possibly gonna take a ice lake route to the objective. Definitely interested in seeing how this pans out because they are not. I mean, for Cup, he doesn't have anyone get a refrag off of possible trade. And I mean, and he's in the center too.
He's very much on his own in this forward position, and Nynx does slither his way over into some cover. Maybe a kill opportunity there for STF, but not anymore. And now he's got to be concerned about that. He's dialed on to Didacta's position, so maybe aware that that's a preferred spot, but no one's peeking out just yet. And like you said, Cup has to be patient to let the rest of his team get into position.
Yeah, well, Arrow 404 to make it through that that east tunnel pretty quick up into this North Passage, but I think Doctor just spotted him out, or possibly Jerp. I saw one of their lasers. I think it was Doctor. Pretty sure he sees Void, so they know that two of them are in that North Passage. If the 4 times, I'm sure he could pick them off no problem. Now you got Jerp keeping his eye on them too. Cup is moving in onto Nink's position, running in actually. Cup says he's in position. Let's see if Nynx even hears him. Hasn't taken his eyes off of this Hesco block. And Cup saw him, and Nynx goes down. Wow. Nynx knew exactly where Cup was, and Cup had no idea, and he waited, and his little footsie got himself killed, moving his little toes around.
ICY finds Grim Reaper. Error 404 kicking this one off good with a couple of kills. Void's going to try and challenge the corner again as he does spray some fire downrange. It does cost him his life. Didacta finds that refrag. Shrieking finds ICY, so the 2 killers down, and we're into the 3v3.
Probably only a down though, not a confirm.
Doctor takes out Cup. And that whole entire east push is just obliterated all up to the southwest ice lake.
It is the only uncovered position, so Cold Steel doing well to hold their angles and find the kills they need, and now they should technically react, right? They've gotten a couple of good pickups. They've gotten 3, and so a lot of teams do this 3-2 split. They do a 2-1-2 split, and it takes, I guess, a lot of, to your point, mental power to really process all of the information while you're in the game. But Shrieking should be sort of ready for this push that's coming in from Badger and Cobra.
Yeah, this is definitely Geek's responsibility here to take out these 2 in the south here of this lake. I mean, if he lets these 2 slip by, that could be really devastating for Cold Steel. I don't think it's gonna happen, but you know, it's up to him to really hold down this aggression here. Cobra's really trying to spot out Geek, and I don't think he can see his head. Just under that wall. If they make any bit of noise, I'm sure Geek's going to be aware of him and make the call out. Or he's probably going to stay silent. I mean, that's a tough decision. Do you think Geek's going to make a call out if he hears them, or do you think he's going to try and let them pass and get the kill by staying silent?
I'm not sure. I think he has, he doesn't have the angle. You can, even though he's just barely head peeking over this hill, he doesn't have the angle. Cobra finds it though. I was wondering why he was rotating all the way around that dock, but he finally gets the angle to catch the head peek. It does give information for this Cold Steel defense, and you do see Jerp rotating to cover at least this right corner, and Didacta also swinging around here, but it might cost him his life if he's not careful because Badger's on the stairs. Badger finds Didacta.
Oh, wow, all up to Jerp. It was really looking like Cold Steel's around there, and all of a sudden now it's 2-1. Cold Steel has the disadvantage, and right when he looked away. Right when he looked away, Jerp got picked off by Cobra.
Classic case of Onward hitting you right there as soon as you dip away from an angle. you lose it. And just a great, really double pick there. You know, the kill coming in on that backside on the swing, and then that forces Jerp to have to check both angles because he's the last defender, so he has to turn around and look behind him. He gets picked up, and ultimately, error 404 here. 7 unanswered points now are 1 away from taking the series and remaining undefeated.
Now, if you're playing against this team Arrow 404, there's one thing you should really try and pay attention to is to what are they doing that's getting a lot of these wins here. And if you can really pay attention, you might notice that so far they've been winning a lot of these rounds by playing it patient, playing it slow, and watching corners that a defender might come out from. Cold Steel has been coming around corners, you know, trying to defend spots. You know, like we saw Doctor, he turned that corner and got picked right away. I mean, they're just watching corners, waiting for rotations on the defense, and that's where they're getting a lot of these wins. They're looking at rotations to get picks off. If you're playing against a team like this and they're playing like that, you got to kind of hold it tight and hold angles and not be moving around too much on the rotations and peeking, because that's where they're starting to lose. And I think Cold Steel might be able to pick up on it. Maybe they've already noticed it, but they're having a trouble kind of acting on it. It's really hard to say. And there's always more than one way to counter something. That's my opinion on how I would probably play against Arrow 404. But I'm only casting, I'm not playing, so it's all up to Cold Steel here. You know, they got to do this on their own.
Yeah, and I'm getting a bit of information here from Shrieking. The headset having some technical difficulties, and so they are going to be going into a technical timeout. And so I think what we will do is cut to a brief intermission. We might switch to the highlight reel just to showcase some of the highlights. But we are going to allow the Cold Steel team to hopefully solve their tech issues, and then we can get back into the action. But either way, Error 404 really running away with this one, just a round away from locking it in. We're going to cut back in a few minutes, but for now we're going to take a brief break. So stick with us and check out those other streams on VRML 2 and 3.
VRware. Our passion is for the
Welcome back, everybody. We are back with map number 2. It is currently 3-0. Air 404 with the lead here on map 2. They've taken the lead on map 1 4-2, and they're just technically a round away from locking in this series. My name's NightFiree. I'm joined, obviously, by F.lapinski. And I mean, hey, we're just like I said, maybe a round away from the series being at least locked in by Air 404.
Yeah, hopefully Cold Steel took the time during those 10 minutes to strategize and pick up their groove again and get some rounds, make it tied up here.
All the way to the right. Go this way.
Heck, I want to see them win this map just so that the third one comes down to a series decider. It's always fun, adrenaline building there.
Oh yeah, it's always something we're rooting for on the desk. We always like to see that best of 3 decider. It's
Oh yeah.
gonna be tough to get for Cold Steel. Air 404 have done it themselves. They came back from a 2-0 deficit, but 3-0 is a little bit different. To constantly have to win when a team is just a round away from beating you, it's certainly a challenge mentally, and just to, I mean, for this Cold Steel team to just come back now. And I mean, we were talking in that intermission. I'm going to throw the question back on you. What do you think Cold Steel has to do here to sort of bounce back from Air 404 taking these rounds?
Yeah, I was talking about it a little bit earlier. I think that if they play a little bit more together, if they play with like a buddy system and they're really there for the refrags, they're not just, waiting for a person to pop out, because we both know that right now they're holding their angles and, they're slowly peeking and getting those shots down, and you got to have your gun up at all times. I keep seeing them like lower their guns last second. It's that Onward juju where you're watching that corner and you look away last second or anything like that. If Cold Steel kind of just, focus a little bit more, play more as a team, get the refrags together when they can, they might be able to take a couple more wins here. I mean, it's pretty much down like 1 versus 1, 1 versus 2, stuff like that. But they got to stop picking corners on that defense too.
It's not Void sending a lot of rounds down on that ridge, just trying to catch somebody, and he does. He gets 1 kill. Solid pickup, and it does leave Streaking alone on his entry, to your point of the buddy system. He is looking for that refrag, but he's got to be careful because Icy is right there to his right. There's a lot of other defenders that he's going to have to sift through.
Man, they are Shrieking Geeks playing it really risky. Oh, and yep, he played it risky. A little too risky there. Gets taken out by Void on that objective. He was trying to get that 4 times out and get a couple picks, but he's just not quick enough on that trigger, and Void was able to spray him down. It's a problem sometimes when you got that 4 times. You can see a little bit farther, but you're slower on that trigger time. The long anticipated wait for the refrag, Doctor gets it.
Yeah. Took him some time, but they do finally shift into this lake side and put out some suppressive fire from the hill. A nice spot to be if you're pushing this objective, and I think that's a defensive smoke that comes out for this cross to come in from Badger to get the res.
We take a look here, we got Nink's Dragon all the way up in the North Passage, but I think Cobra might spot his leg. No, I think Nink's is okay, but he's still got Cup to worry about. Yeah, this is a pretty interesting flank he might go for. Kind of the more risky option instead of going through the center ravine passage. There's a little bit more cover, but if he makes it through, that's going to be devastating for Aero 404.
Ooh, Icy finds Grim Reaper, and now it's all up to the Doctor and Ninx, who are trying to get this pinch going. Cobra spots out Ninx, down he goes. A big pickup there. Cold Steel left with just 1 alive. Didacta in a 1v5, and I think he's checked his tablet. He's realized his predicament. The time also not on his side here.
Oh no, and down goes Doctor. Wow.
A huge map 2 here for Air 404. They pick into it after securing Cold Steel's map pick on sand, and ultimately take away this series with, now it's been 8 unanswered points in a row. They are charging away with this lead, and I gotta wonder what the plan is for map 3, and it seems like it's gonna be more range. And I guess to the point of Snow Peak, we really only got, I would say, 2/3 of the map was ranged, but I mean, here we are on Downfall, where I don't know. I've been coming around on Downfall as well, because there is some new objectives. There are some new spawns. I would say there's a good portion of the objectives that are pretty quick. on Downfall these days.
Yeah, I'm just shocked that Cold Steel picked this one for their third map. I mean, they just played Snow Peak, a large range map, and they lost, 4-0. I'm kind of shocked that they decided to go with another long range map. But I mean, if they feel like they're confident on it, of course, by all means, go for it. I know by personal, playing with Geek all the time on Animal House, he loves this map. He loves using his 4x M16. But if they feel confident enough to play it, then I mean, this is the map to play. But I'm just a little shocked to go from a long range map, lose 4-0, and play another long range map.
Whew. A fun series to be tuning into, but right now it's really up to Cold Steel to sort of triage, if you will. They've lost the series after, as you can clearly see, losing Sand and Snow Peak, but they've got this final map that they can secure. We always play out the third map in Onward VRML, and that is because the points matter at the end of the day. If Error 404 lose this map and Cold Steel can get a couple of points on the board, it's going to make it so that when they do lose, they're going to lose less. The loss is going to be less impactful on them, and so it's still worth fighting for here in this third map. And oftentimes you do see a team that's winning like this, like Error 404 is, start to maybe slack a little bit, start to maybe get a little bit overconfident, leave some gaps in their coverage, and there's opportunities for Cold Steel, certainly, I think, in this next map to potentially slither through those gaps.
Yeah, and when NightFiree talks about losing not as bad, it's not just for your feelings, of course, as we all really care about our emotions, but it affects MMR as well. MMR tends puts you where you stand in the rankings, so you don't want to lose that MMR. So if you're able to lower the amount you lose, that's going to help your MMR in the long run.
Yep.
We don't care about feelings.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, at the end of the day, it's a good opportunity to test out some of your subs, to bring in some non-active teams or some non-active players per se that you haven't been using, at least in the last few maps, and trying them out. And we are seeing, well, there was at least for a brief moment what seemed to be a sub coming in on Cold Steel. We'll see if that
Doubler
is going to continue to be the case. They disconnected, and that is why we are waiting here to start off onto this third map. But I'm looking over at Error 404, and I'm not seeing any subs. And again, if you're the winning team, you've won the series, so you're gonna get the W. And to argue at a different point, it's an opportunity to bring in a sub and get them some experience. If you lose, it's not the end of the world. You just lose a little. You just win a little bit less, and so it's an opportunity as well on the winning team on these third maps to bring in a sub, but not the case for Error 404, and it is going to be the case. Right, Stubler was he in last round?
Stubler is a sub for the third map for Cold Steel.
Yes.
So, which doesn't add up to what we've been talking about, but that's okay.
Well, to that point, they need to try something new, right? They've had a tough time with with the roster they were working with on both Sand and Snow Peak, and bringing in someone that maybe is better on range could certainly help them. Again, he did maybe not having success getting into the lobby, maybe some tech issues, but
he bounced out again.
Yeah, we'll be diving into it as soon as both of these teams are ready. But I guess it does give us a moment to shout out the other streams that are live. If you are interested in maybe seeing a game that is coming down to a best of 3, I'm not sure what the score lines are over on channels 2 and 3, but plenty of Onward to tune into right now. And maybe you want to watch Cold Steel and Error 404 duke it out on Downfall. I don't blame you. They've been pretty competitive here in this series, but other games to watch as well.
Yeah, and of course, let's also thank our beautiful and wonderful partners too.
Yep.
We got ProTube, VR Cover, B Haptics, HyperX, Rebuff Reality, Cybershoes, Arma, VRWare, Asterion, and Fixit Gaming. The list is just a long, beautiful list of people who love us. Isn't that right?
Absolutely, and we do really appreciate all of the support from those sponsors. You see the ads running, something that we're trying to do to feature those sponsors a little bit more in between these moments of, in between these breaks. And speaking of, I think we are done waiting for this map to kick off. SWR is in, both squads ready to go. Round 1 of map 3 is kicking off.
Got ourselves a little Marsoc spawn, or as some would call the southeast spawn. Definitely a really good one to approach with on the offense here. You got to really take advantage of this hill and get a couple picks off.
Yeah.
Might find yourself getting Void or possibly Badger if you're quick enough. Right here, you might get Badger, Nix Dragon. Look. Nope. And he doesn't.
Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about with some of these quick spawns that have been put in. This is one that I think's been in for a while, but this is the quick spawn on this objective, and Icy finds the first kill. Regardless, he's had his eyes on here on this gap. Cold Steel lose one right away, and the Doctor is looking for that refract through the window.
3rd floor, Center Hotel, rooftop.
Yeah, Nix should have been scanning more of the horizon there. Could have possibly picked off Badger rotating into that north dumpster building basement, but looks like Stubbler might be able to find Void if Void makes a couple shots here and there, give himself away. Because right now they could just mistake him for a pile of trash or rocks.
A lot of lasers dialed in there. Stubbler and Jerp both finding kills here as they do take command of the South Ravine. Badger able to pick up to Doctor, but Jerp and Stubbler are here ready to sort of push up. Icy has to rotate out so they can defend. They have no coverage on the back side here. Is STF in? He's not covering the back entry, and Icy has to swing here.
Oh, and Icy almost gets picked off. Wow, that objective was pretty exposed there. If any one of Stubbler or Jerp decided to make a rotation on that objective basement, it would have been a cap. I could pretty much safe to say it would have been a cap there. 2 flash attempts, not finding anyone. Icy gets picked off by Jerp with a nice headshot.
Badger goes, scoops up Jerp. Stubbler ready to find the next kill, and we'll see if he can get STF Cup. If he does, he's got entry there into that corner side, into that back of the corner objective. STF does just barely miss.
Still got Shrieking Geek still alive in the Marsoc buildings. He was attempting to go on that south hill near the spawn, but did not find any good vantage points, so he started to rotate back to the Marsoc twin buildings. Well, there was a really good opening there for Cold Steel, and down goes Stubbler. Not sure exactly if he knew exactly where Badger was, but he was kind of keeping his eye on that twin Marsoc and not towards the upper dumpster building. All the Shrieking Geek now.
Yeah, Error 404 again, putting up a good hold. But you know, to the opposite point, they are really focused on that south hold now. Maybe Shrieking can get himself up to this objective without being detected.
I'm like really quiet right now because I'm just really intense. It's like this just feels intense to me. Like I'm just on the edge of my seat, really trying to see what's gonna happen here. Because they have no idea where Shrieking Geek is. I think they think that the last member is somewhere in the south, but the more time he takes, the more they're gonna check everywhere else and expect a rotation.
Badger
might get Cup here, but Badger's got a good sight on him.
He didn't see this cross. He didn't see Shrieking get up to this wall. And he's still focusing on that south side. Shrieking does see him, and he does swing out, so maybe an opportunity to take shots. No, nobody getting fired on.
Badger didn't see him either, but Badger's in the window now, and Badger's gonna spot Geek. Oh, wow.
Great hold from Error 404 on defense. Badger with 4 kills there on the round. That defensive position really paying off for them. Found a bunch of kills there on that South Ravine and ultimately gets Error 404 the W. Otherwise, that was a good push from Cold Steel. They had good pickups early.
Yeah, that was just some unfortunate timing for Shrieking Geek right when he spotted who was that? Right when he spotted Badger? I think that was Badger in there. Right when he spotted Badger, Badger rotated and then he moved, and then when Geek moved, Badger looked at him, and just timing. It's that onward juju I was talking about. I'm telling you.
I'm looking at, again, the info from chat while we have these moments between rounds, and I'm seeing that Icy played in the rookie tournament, and Void is the only non-rookie. But he hasn't been playing long. So, skilled players that certainly have been making an impact over the last few months. And you know, I guess when you talk about a rookie team, what is a rookie team now, right? These teams have had a 4-month break of playing, a 4-month training camp, essentially, you know, where they could be playing and scrimming against teams and getting their squad ready and prepped, and clearly they've done their homework here, because they continue to win. And we're gonna have to keep an eye on this Error 404 team as they continue to progress, because they're eventually going to run into some teams that are going to really give them a good challenge. And that's to say that Cold Steel certainly is a team that could have given them a good challenge, but not necessarily the case, as you know, Error 404 have really done a great job here today to play coordinated, like you said, like Cold Steel need to do. Error 4 have been doing that. They have been playing coordinated. They have been playing together as a team. The communication has been good, and it's what's led them to the W's.
Yeah, and I think what you're talking about with what makes a rookie team, I mean, you know, with the people that are calling rookie teams who've only played maybe one season.
Yeah.
I mean, well, about one season, in the time that that season started and ended, and between the time from the season prior, really 2 seasons could have happened, but because of all of the game changes, there was a much longer break. And you know, with that break, there was a lot of tournaments, a lot of scrimmages that could have happened, so much time to practice and train, just like a normal season, that in a sense, I mean, if you played season 10, I would consider you not a rookie. I wouldn't say maybe you're a veteran, but definitely not a rookie.
Shots coming in right away. Early kill here onto Cold Steel. The suppressive fire from the LMG gets one. Icy does get Nix trying to get aggressive up in the ravine, but doesn't find anybody. And, well, it's a bit of a holding pattern now, as Cold Steel are quickly down 2 on this defensive hold.
Now, this is what we should have seen from Cold Steel the previous round, where you play aggressive on that kind of spawn, and you push that hill and get the picks on everyone rotating to their defense. Now you've got 3 players who are kind of trapped where they're at. You know, not much room for them to rotate in and around.
Ooh, Jerp's looking for 2. A nice transfer after finding Icy. Almost gets another up on the hilltop from this downstairs position, but
One's gonna come out valley,
at least even the odd a little bit here for the Cold Steel defense. But will it be enough is the question.
Doctor's in a pretty good spot, and he goes for it's not Void, but that smoke kind of blurs his vision a little bit. He does have to worry about Cup though over in the middle bungalow, the north. They're looking for his head, and it's just not peeking out. If Doctor stands up, I think he might get his head taken out, and he stands up. Maybe. Nope, they don't take the shot.
Stubler and Badger fighting in the center. Smoke's coming in from Badger, and the Doctor's there to suppress. Cup's up on the bush, and Void's trying to get out from behind this wall, but Jerp's keeping him suppressed. So far, a good job from this Cold Steel team to force Error 404 to stay tucked in. And as I say that, Badger's on a swing. A great counter swing from Didacta gets the kill.
One down.
Wow. Man, they did a really good job. When those smokes came out, they prevented them from pushing through that smoke, and they just made them waste that utility there with all that suppression that we were talking about there. And Jerp is going to push up, but gets taken out by Cobra up in that 2-story. I'm not sure Jerp was aware if Cobra was even there. I think all he was aware of was possibly Cup, and it's not Void's position. This is not looking great at the moment for either team, really. I mean, it could swing both ways at this point. They got somewhat of a good defense here. Doctor's in a really good, strong spot. He's definitely exposed. They know where he's at, but to really take him out is going to be really a challenge here. The only problem is that they have to worry about is if Arrow 404 sneaks into that basement of the objective. That's where Cold Steel might find trouble at. Cups on this rotation all the way over in the northwest.
Yeah.
Might find an angle on the Doctor, and he does. Wow, with a great headshot too.
Dead.
All up to Stubbler.
Yeah, we'll see. He's in a 1v3. He's got to hold all the angles. He's got to watch out for Cup, who is managing to rotate around. And the Cobra and Void are pushing in. He's in probably the best spot he could be. But at the same time, they don't have great backside defense, and they know this right now. If they're confident in the kill feed, they should send one around to the back of the objective, force Stubbler to stay in, and just get themselves a free cap, because right now that's an opportunity they have.
Right, I don't think there was any trades either. I think they have an accurate kill count, but Cobra's going to go in the front towards the objective, and they're going for kills here. They're a little kill hungry at the moment. They're not worried about a cap. They really need to send someone in that back, and Stubbler is doing exactly what you do and run out in the open and gets taken out there. Wow. Man, wow. Yeah, if there was a little bit more communication there, I think they could have totally gotten a cap from Arrow 404 in that basement. Stubbler was a little bit late on the whole sacrifice yourself in the greater good of your score, but at the end he did run in the open, took the shots, preventing a cap. But wow, yeah, they just got a really good start off with those two early picks up in that spawn. Gonna have to take a lot for Cold Steel to really bring it back now. They are on a 10-point lead. Like they've gotten 10 consistent points here. That's a lot.
Yeah, they're really doing well here to ride the momentum. And you know, to your point, it's certainly something that we've been around for a while. I've been casting Onward forever, and it's we're thinking a cap's an opportunity for a cap. Certainly they have got a kill count, yada yada, but in the moment, oftentimes teams just want to lock in the W and they have an advantage, and it's hard for, especially a new team, to be able to recognize these opportunities more clearly, and maybe a rare learning opportunity for this Error 404 team, because otherwise they have been playing great. And I guess we haven't really seen any caps come in here. It's all just been kills. Everyone's really been focused on killing the opponent instead of trying to get up onto that objective and cap. Well, I guess we've seen plays attempted, but those have been shut down.
Yeah, on Sand, that was a really close one from Nynx, but just a little too slow there on that code. But I mean, we still got a couple more rounds left on this last map. We might see a cap. I mean, it's not over yet.
Certainly is not, and Cold Steel have to be reminding themselves that as well right now, because still got a game in front of them here. It's not over yet. 2-0 lead, certainly something that you can bounce back from, and as we do shift down to again, another old objective, quote unquote, we'll see if Cold Steel can find some success.
And I think, keep in mind with any old or new team, your morale really affects how you play. If you keep your head up high, even when you're down a lot of points, it's gonna help you out. It's much better than thinking, man, how did we trade, or how did he get behind me? Why did he do this? And excuses, those don't help you when you're playing. If you want if you want to think of ways that you could have done better on the previous round, that's something to do on the free time that you have, not during a game. Don't think about it, don't stress about it, just work on what can I do this next round, and what am I going to do that's going to get us this next win.
Hard to do when you lose two so early into your offensive round, though. Cold Steel instantly losing two there. The pickups coming in, and maybe a third as Shrieking gets sniped by Void. The south entry just getting shut down, and Void, celebrating his kill there with that LMG, actually, is what it was. As he eloquently put it, but we're now shifting our attention over to the other side of the map because that's where the other two are, and that res is not coming in.
Well, I mean, you got a whole 4 minutes remaining. If they really wanted to go for the res, they still can.
True.
But I mean, they're kind of trapped here. They know where they are now at this point. You know, good luck getting out of this corner, especially Doctor here. He's kind of in the open. Oh, he's gonna peek it. What is he thinking? Wow, did he really just survive that?
Yeah, he's got the death blade there, ducks behind the red truck, but oh, there's the swing. Cobra gets the comms and has a great angle there, and now Nynx maybe second guessing this approach out here. They don't want to lose right now. Nynx is the only one left alive, and the Doctor is still able to comm in information, so maybe he can figure out where some of this defense is.
Yeah. If you notice here that on Arrow 404, they have two guys on two different buildings stacked up with each other, one upstairs and one downstairs, which is a really interesting kind of strat. You know, if you make a call out that someone's in a building, you think, oh, I got the guy upstairs or I got the guy downstairs, and then what do you know? For Arrow 404 situation, they have another guy in there on a completely different floor. Kind of gives them a little bit of a psychological advantage where someone doesn't think that there might be an extra player on that building. And well, shortly lived, the Doctor gets revived and then quickly taken out right soon after.
Yeah, I don't think he was aware that Cobra was the one that downed him. He was still very focused on that position from Void and Badger, but Cobra is here waiting to get this shot in through the window. Nynx tries to challenge it. Cobra goes for the repeat, doesn't take the shots, and now Nynx is lasered in waiting for Cobra to peek. He's got 2:45 left, so we can play this patiently. Cobra swings out, and Cobra finds the kill.
He was there.
Wow. Well done from Arrow 404. Not a single casualty on that round. Just flawless right there, if you want to call it that. Well done. I mean, two players were a little bored there, stuck in that basement, not doing much, but the other three had a whole bunch of action going on all corners of the map. Well done from Arrow 404. They've really shown themselves that they deserve their ranking on VRML. You know, they deserve to be Master Division.
It's crazy to see. I mean, we are really in a new era of competitive Onward. We have Raptors, a new team that is proving to be very competitive at the high level, and now Air 404 earning their spot arguably up in the top 10. And I again, a team that we have to keep an eye on, because next week's matchup is going to be really interesting. That's going to be up against a team that is going to give them a good challenge, and I want to see who that's going to be.
Yeah, and I think, man, this new era that you're talking about makes a lot of sense too. You know, you've got a lot of people where all they've done is play the same maps, and that's kind of how they live by on Onward and compete by. And now you're adding these custom maps that every single team is going to have the same amount of playtime on, essentially. You know, these maps came out at the same time that all these new players from the Quest wave came in.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have that same advantage on these older maps as you will on these newer maps, and it gives a huge advantage. I wouldn't say huge advantage, but it makes the playing field there a lot more fair than what it could be.
No, it's fantastic. It's what it has me so excited, honestly, about this season is that. And then you also have to think there's new objectives on old maps too. Those old maps are also getting shooken up. You know, there's not even safety in the maps that you know, and so yeah, a lot of opportunity for newer teams to shine and prove themselves.
Yeah, it's kind of like saying, get with the times, old man, you know?
Some
Either you
teams
adapt or you fall behind.
Some teams have, okay? Some of those teams, there's not everybody's fallen off here, okay? Some of those squads at the top are still at the top.
Woo.
Oh, and
Nynx downing Jerb.
Why you
What's
pushing out there,
happening there? What are we doing?
I love you though.
I think he said, "I'm sorry, I love you though."
yeah, he was not expecting him to be up there. As soon as he shot him, he said, "What are you doing up there?" So maybe just a little bit of a miscommunication on how aggressive they were going to get on their defense, but that's not what you want when you're trying to prevent a map from getting 4-0'd.
Yeah. might redeem himself, and he does, finding Icy. Oh, Void goes for the shots on Inks, and I've actually, speaking of that, it's not Void is using a suppressor, which I feel like a lot of these newer players are using now, and I think the main reason why is because there is no muzzle flash. So in situations where you have those darker lit windows, or you're sitting next to the helicopter, having a suppressor is so beneficial, because when you're looking to find that player, you don't have that muzzle flash to guide you to where he might be. You only have sound, and sound can only help you so much. So I think that's like a huge advantage that a lot of these newer players are using now that I haven't seen in quite a while.
Cold Steel bouncing back here. Jerp giving out callouts, I think, from the center, and Deducta able to act off of that. Finds the kill, and might be a little bit difficult for Cup and Badger to cross here. And this is sort of one of the few times, I think, that Air 404 are at a disadvantage in a round, and maybe that's something to think about, right? Cold Steel have really been at a disadvantage, I feel like, almost every round.
Cobra did drop, by the way, so now there's only one member left of Arrow 404, Badger Zombie, which is actually their kill leader at the moment, if we're going Apex terms.
Or just anybody's terms. He is the kill leader, and yeah, he's just found another one there. He's looking for more, and well, it's a 1v3, not the most difficult thing to do in Onward, especially with how this defense isn't necessarily tightly tucked in together. So depending on how he approaches, he very well could find one at a time.
Stubler almost picked him off there, but I think, just like I was talking about earlier, you can see right now that Stubler's pushing up, Ninx is peeking around corners left and right, and they're not holding angles on the objective that well. And I think that this is one of the reasons why they are losing a lot of rounds. But oh, Ninx almost got another team kill there on Stubler. Stubler's playing pretty aggressive, and might get the pick right here on the Badger. Does he see him? No, he syringed. I think Ninx shot him.
Oh wow. So yeah, he really almost team killed him. Oh, the Doctor almost team kills Stubler.
I think Stubler was going for the revive and missed it last second on the Jerp. And Badger shot the same time Doctor did, so it kind of masked where he was. Never mind, Nick saw him. Cold Steel finally get rid of the win streak from Arrow 404 and get another point. That was a, what, 11 win streak that Arrow 404 had? Wow.
Never too late for a comeback, I think, is the saying in moments like these, and it's never is too late. They are on the board now, but we are shifting objectives. And honestly, I think this is one that can be attacked with proper coordination and maybe some good smokes.
Oh yeah.
You can cap this objective.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it's 100% possible. I mean, you could be really quick about it, go for the cap if you want, but long story short, I think, you know, the best Cold Steel's gonna do is make it 11-6 at the end of the day if they win this map. So they can do it. I think they can. They just gotta focus and play like they did this last round, minus the team kill. So
yeah, those team kills never do much for you, but
nope.
Shout out to everyone that, again, while we're in this break, that is tuning in. We do appreciate all the folks that have been stopping by and hanging out, everyone that has been chatting it up. It's always fun to see the conversations going on there. I see Kraft in chat. Fox has been in here for a while. Mech has been in for a while. S1G, Lion Cake, Reefer Madness. I really do appreciate all you guys and gals hanging out in chat and talking about the games. It's why we do it, because we know the community enjoys the content. And hey, on a day like today when you got 3 streams live, the content is certainly being delivered. I gotta wonder what those other stream score lines are, but don't want to spoil anything for anybody today, so keep the mouth shut and leave it up to you. You can always check out the VODs, so you can catch the action you missed over there on channels 2 and 3. And sure, it was good, but who knows? We've had our own good action in front of us, and we got a few more rounds left.
spoiler alert, that one team won. So, but yeah, when you talked about, you know, downing doesn't benefit, I actually remember a while ago, I was considering a new strategy where I would purposely down myself in a position that you can't be confirmed at easily and just use myself for comms. And then I realized it's not really worth it. Like, it's not worth it in the end, in the long run.
It's yeah, it's a risk for sure, and you know, you don't want to lose a gun early in a round. You know, maybe something to think about when you're in a different point in a round if you really wanted to commit to something. But I don't know. Yeah, there's all kinds of different high level strats when you think about it that you can pull off like that. But we've just been seeing really consistent teamwork here today. You know, nothing crazy with the nades. Just good shots, good coordination, and a lot of communication, a lot of talking from these teams. You're hearing a lot of call outs as soon as they identify something. They're calling out the positions as a kill goes down, as rotations come in, and so, you know, we'll see if Cold Steel can continue to get points, or if this is going to be map 3 for Error 404.
It's looking like Fort Knox over here on the objective. They got 4 guys and a real good triangle around it too in the basement buildings too. So it's gonna take a lot of work to get to this objective and try and go for a cap. You're really gonna have to really rely on possibly going in through the west and going in the objective building basement and go for the cap if you can.
Yeah, it's hard to root out Cobra and STF in their positions, and really all you're doing is challenging Icy and Void. The problem is you also do have Badger inside the 3-story, but yeah, if they can swing around, maybe there's something to the I think it's Jerp here or no, who is that back there?
Stubler?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just noticed that too. I'm like, where did he come from? How did he get all the way over here? We do have Jerp moving up though, with Shrieking Geek on Cub's position. Right here, if he peeks this, I think Cobra's gonna spot him. Oh, and a trade! That's really huge for Cold Steel there on that trade. Opening up the objective more. Shrieking Geek does go down while peeking that window a little bit. You can hear the frustration from that kill there.
Yeah,
he was Geek.
He was hunting for the angle onto the 2-story down there and got a little bit too tunnel vision and forgot he was exposing his back to this window. So Icy scooped it up, got the kill, and well, it's really again up to Stubler, who is on this flank, and I think that's going to be their best chance of a successful attack. They still do have obviously Nynx and the Doctor in the center, but not an easy approach.
Nynx just snaking his way to that objective, really hoping to get like a little cap on that. But you still got Cup, and Cup's the one. If you're gonna shut down a cap, Cup's gonna be the guy who's gonna do it. But you can always try, Nynx. Doesn't hurt to try.
The outside, to the point of which cap's easier to get, there really is only Cup. If he goes down, Icy has a tough time properly defending a cap coming in from the outside. Yeah. So I don't know.
He can of course flash through the window and try and run outside. True. That's if he has one, though.
I don't know, man. I don't think Cold Steel are done just yet. It is a 4v3, but they're going for it here. This approach is looking good from both pinches here. Stubler and Nynx both have an idea in mind.
Now, I wonder, it would be perfect as if Geek made some fake call-outs saying that go through the north or, you know, whatever, and get Cup's attention off that objective, just like he was a few seconds ago. Because right now, this is where Nynx is getting on this objective here. This is gonna be something.
Stubler almost has an angle there onto Cup. He could almost pick up Cup and open up the entry.
That would be perfect. And then Icy's attention would be away from the objective, but right here is where Nynx is gonna cross the field of view, and Stubler goes down from It's Not Void. Oh, that's gonna hurt a little bit.
Oh, there's Icy.
Nynx. Wow. All up to Doctor once again. Another snake in the field. I would say grass, but we're kind of in the desert here.
Snake in the sand is perfectly acceptable. I think snakes do
Oh,
do
there you
that.
go. I don't know why that didn't cross my mind first, but
Yeah, he is certainly snaking it up here, though. Not the time for it. Not exactly moving fast enough. Take some shots towards Void. I'm surprised Badger doesn't peek up here looking for the kill, but with 30 seconds left, he's going to really have to do a lot here. He's going to have to get this kill.
he's not there, Doctor. He's there. Oh, yep, there you go.
Yep, misperceiving the comms there, thinking that he was getting approached from the back, but Badger was actually above him, and so that's what ultimately led to his death and the end of the series. Error 404 taking it away 4-1 on map number 3. Overall, a commanding victory from this new team coming into the league, and you love to see it. A great 12-3 victory against Cold Steel, and like I've been saying, a squad that we're gonna have to keep an eye on in the future. I want to see what they're gonna do next week.
Yeah, I think you're right as well. I think you know, Cold Steel definitely learned a lot from this scrim here, or not scrim, this match. We're not doing scrims. This match, and hopefully they, you know, pick it up. They play a lot better in their next weekly match. And Arrow 404, if they keep up this win streak, they're gonna jump definitely up to the top 10, 100%.
Yeah.
You know, wow, they're gonna be unstoppable, but they cannot lose this momentum. They gotta keep this up, and they will do great.
Yeah, I want to start hyping up now the Error 404 versus Raptors matchup. You know, start getting that, start developing that thread in people's minds. That'll certainly be crazy if that ever unfolds. If Raptors ever lose, though, I think they've lost a game or two. I don't think they're undefeated like Error 404 is, but they are certainly doing well up at the top. And yeah, it's a great season. You know, I'm hyped for the rest of season 11. We've got a bunch of new casters on the team that'll be delivering a lot of action to the league, and hey, well, hopefully we'll have more triple streams like this, so you can get a lot of action from a lot of different places. Because you know, hey, everybody needs more Onward, right?
Oh, 100%. I mean, if you're not playing Onward and you have a VR headset, like, dude, who are you? Like, do you have friends who play VR? Do you have friends in real life? They should be telling, even if they've never played VR, they should be like, dude, Onward's the game to go. Like, I don't have it, but you should be playing it anyways, you know?
Yep.
Come on, let's be real.
Yeah, it really is one of the best shooter out there for VR, in my opinion. That's why it's so popular. It's why the league has been growing exponentially. We have tripled in the number of players in the league since season 10. So certainly a lot of new folks looking to get involved, and some very skilled new folks at that. It's been a lot of fun tuning into this series, and I think we are going to be signing off here at the desk. A shout out to, again, everyone that has been tuning in. I really do appreciate you. And if you are new, hit that follow button. If you have a Twitch Prime subscription, feel free to drop that here as well. The support ends up coming back to the casting team and the production crew that gives you these high quality streams. With that, we'll be signing off. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. My co-caster F.lapinski delivering you the action. We will see you all later this week with more Onward VRML.
Whoop, whoop.